afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, September 11, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tonight, Wednesday, and a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about this debate and all the things that are twirling around out there and all the things that are, it's going to happen today and all that other stuff. We're going to address it all. Now, focusing and concentrating on how we are vibrating, or the frequency, energetic footprints that we send out, is very important because we do it, all of us, none of us are exempt from it, but it's very dangerous. When you allow the ego mind to take over and you're plunged into overwhelm or other things, we all have been there, and then you become anxious or irritated or angry, like you're going to pop. And when we start to feel that, we have a choice, okay? It's not easy because you're already in that sync of aggressive, energetic frequencies being popped out there, pushed out there. And that influences everything. You could be happy-go-lucky along and then be overwhelmed by something and totally shift into the crap, which would then cause you to send out frequencies that would affect everything around you. It would affect how you feel. It would affect your health. It would affect everything. How many of us are at the stage of awareness where we know this through our heart minds? We may stick our toes in it and then pull out and then regroup and then redirect. Especially now on this planet with all of the quackery going on. And that's exactly what it is. It's easy with extenuating circumstances that we portray or push out to the universe ourselves. And then we get the response, which is more of the same or even more. Right now, many of us on this planet are kind of like a sinking spiral because we're so trapped with the ego mind in the worry, stress, fear, and anxiety, irritation, anger at oneself, anger at others. It all compiles. Doesn't matter. People can get even more irritated at the fact that that is truth, that they're creating an absolute quagmire of a life because they're allowing the ego mind to be master and commander. This is why I believe you'll find more and more people that want to begin to meditate more, begin to seek out the God within them. Because everything that any of us have ever known in this lifetime is melting away. Now, the rational mind, quote unquote, is, let's rationalize this and look at this and look at that. It's about face. It's not running from anything. It's knowing what you're putting out there. It's just knowing. Being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. And then knowing that you are putting it out there, which you're getting a response. Okay? And the response is what? More of what you're worry, stressing, and fearing about. It's whatever we focus on. Now, some people get irritated about that when that statement's made, or, and say, hey, you keep putting that out, you're just going to get more of it. What would happen, okay? Yeah, if let's just say in this country the majority of us just said, I'm not going to pay attention to any of this stuff anymore. I'm going to focus on the life that I want to live on this planet at this time. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to leave my phone at bay. I'm not going to text and get involved in any of that electronic stuff. It's all bad for you. People just don't realize it. It's all bad. What is the whole consensus is to eliminate us. Why would we want to fall into that trap of feeding more and 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 more? There's no reason for it. It's just that we have a habit, all of us. The habit is that we automatically go there. We do. We will, certain times, none of us are, impregnable to this effect. And it is an effect. We set an effect of energetic frequencies. Those energetic frequencies come out and they saturate around us. It affects the very atmosphere that we're surrounded by. Not only that, does it affect others? It affects others. Now, some people believe that, then I will say, they'll say things like they don't want this or they don't want that, believing for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. See, physics on this planet is skewed. It's all wrong. Now, opposite and equal, right? But in truth, when you say to the universe you don't want, you get. And and it's been proven, as I've shared over and over again, that wherever you focus, particles begin to appear. This is how powerful we are. Even though the majority of us on this planet haven't a clue about that. Zero. This is why those of us who are aware to a certain extent, not making us any better than those that are asleep, not making us any more powerful or higher than those that are asleep, because we're all gods in the body. But at this time on this planet, there are those of us who are aware to a certain extent. This is why you hear me say so many times, it's all about you. It ain't about anything else. It isn't about what they think of you. It isn't about what they say about you. It doesn't matter. It's all about you. And when you can actually eliminate that, then you'll be totally free. Truly so. When you really don't care. It has nothing to do with you, because you're not that body. You're not your name. You're not your belongings. You're not your position in this societal rat race structure. You are the God within that body. And this whole thing has been designed by the collective consciousness, the God, which we are, to do what? To experience. Okay? And then one might say what? What would one might say? Well, one might say, yeah, but how come we come in and we forget everything? And we do it over again, over and over and over again for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Why is that? Because we haven't learned enough in any lifetime, because it's so short on purpose, that we don't gain enough ground to understand who and what we really truly are in these bodies. We don't know. So we're lost in this mire of deception through what they call the matrix, which is engineered. Now you figure that this is a holographic generating universe, right? You figure that. Pretty easy to program certain things, isn't it? Based upon our capacity to be programmed and our perspective on how things, we believe how things are. Not a hard thing to do. But doesn't it make sense that you are not separate from all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever? You're not separate from it. Now, the ego mind pushes us into wanting to be with someone, wanting to have this and that. That's the ego mind. But the heart mind, when you're fully in the heart mind, you know that your best friend ever, forever and ever and ever, is the universe. And yeah, it's kind of called, this is where you come in and you begin to master the fact is that, hey, you know, if something happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm good with both ways. Not a lot of people can say that, genuinely. But you're good with both ways. This is, see, we designed this for our entertainment, collectively, right? So we designed it for our entertainment and to experience a material physical world. That's it. There's really no special accomplishment other than we remember who and what we are. And we remember who and what we are by going through different steps that we choose to go through. Not that we have to go through. Not that, oh, well, I'm going to do this because then I'll get this. None of that stuff. That's all ego mind. So then we start to understand the fact that, and comprehend that if it is to be, it is up to thee. You've heard that before. And it's very, very true. You focus your energetic frequencies, as the God that you are within that body, on what you want. That's simple, right? What happens if that doesn't come to be? What happens is that you will send little sparks out there, which are denoting and de-energizing your initial request of the universe. Now, are you doing this on purpose? No. Do you know you're doing it? No. And this is where many of us get so tied up and tangled. Like, for instance, here's something that many of you have probably experienced. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. Have you noticed that? That's dangerous. Real dangerous. No one trusts anybody anymore. You know why? Because they don't trust themselves. It's the only reason they don't trust others. They don't trust themselves. What happens when you put that frequency out? It attracts more of the same, doesn't it? The civilization finds it easier to be untruthful than truthful. It's easier to be that way than to be truthful. Truthful, and then we have the ego mind sitting there, is exposing. And see, when you're not connected emotionally to what other people think, what other people say, what other people do, you're free. So none of that affects you like it used to. It's not there anymore. You don't care. You know who and what you are. You are focused on what? The life you want to live. That's your only focus, the life you want to live. Now, you don't interject attachments and expectations. You just state it through the heart mind and let it go. That's it. We designed everything, believe it or not. This goes against everything. Everything that this civilization has ever been programmed with, all of it. We were taught to chase, pursue, right? Climb, grit, grimace, claw our way to whatever plateau or whatever precipice there is. to get somewhere, to do something big, to accomplish this and have that. When we are the manifestors, the gods that we are. So everything comes to us, and then we ascertain which goodie we feel good with, so we welcome it in. Others we know, see, there's always that experiencing going on. One might say, well, that's great. So we shift gears, we do an about-face, practice meditation, coming from the heart-mind, residing in the heart-mind, then whatever we want, we'll get. True. But not until you master the ego mind. Because it seeps in. As soon as you start doubting anything, it's over. It doesn't matter if it's just a little crack, right, on the shiny polished surface. Just a little crack. You can't see with your bare eye. But just a little doubt, it negates it. Why? You're that powerful. We all are. This is why the planet is in the position it's in right now. This is why. And what do you do if you get a virus, right? Well, you can't get a virus. Let's just say we call it a virus on computers, right? Well, what happens when you get one that's just really nasty? And no matter what you're using to scrub it clean from your hard drive, you can't. It's corrupting the hard drive, everything. So you really got to dump everything. You got to dump it all. Your data, if you didn't back it up, your data, and if you didn't back it up, that you knew that maybe the virus is on the data. Okay? So it's pretty much a maintenance and awareness on a continual basis. Not much like, it's very similar to us, is that we are untainted until we start getting programmed. Do you see what I mean? Yes, these vessels are empty. They don't have any programming. So we haven't been taught a lot of things that we're taught. Some of them are not bad. Some of them are good that we're taught. Like, don't put your hand on that stove because it's hot. You put your hand on the stove, you're going to be in a lot of pain. Well, you're curious, so you put your hand on the stove, you're in a lot of pain. So we learn certain simple comparisons that help us. Okay? But for the majority of it, it's tainted. And one might say, why is it tainted? Because, figure it out, this cycle that this species is in, and has been in for hundreds of thousands of years, is what? It's all the information is handed down to the next generation, and that generation is programmed, and then they hand that down to the next generation, and that generation is programmed, and it's all the same stuff. But I can guarantee you that if you took the time, okay, and all the things that are happening now, there's some differences, but if you look back and you discover, like back in 1966, for instance, in 1970, what was going on? Well, with what you're aware of now, right, that you have discovered, you're much more aware than you go back and you say, this is the same stuff was going on then. It really hasn't changed any. The same thing. But there is something that has changed. What is that? Awareness. More so, there's more awareness in this country than ever before. Okay? That doesn't mean it's the majority. It's still the minority. But it's a huge step in the right direction because of the fact that the more aware you become, the more knowledgeable you seek, the more you seek out, and you have an uncanny ability to siphon and filter off all the garbage and crap to get to the few nuggets of truth. And as you know, none of us, we were not adapted to being ruled over. It's not in our chemistry. It's not in our design to be ruled over. Why would gods be ruled over? They wouldn't. What is another natural state of being for us? Self-governance. And these are all choices. And if one doesn't have the knowledge, then they're kind of swimming in a circle. And, and then sooner or later the sharks are going to get them. But when you take it upon yourself to start looking at things, not from a gilded point of view, but from an open perspective, just neutral, observing, watching, then you'll start to pick up things without the ego mind. You'll start to notice and see things. And there's counteractive measures that you can engage with yourself to circumvent the ego mind's worry, stress, fear, anxiety, anger, all of that. I get letters that ask me, what's happened to our ethics in our country? What's happened to our level of respect for one another? Well, our, so to speak, esprit de corps. If one does not respect oneself, how is one to respect others? They can't. So if you degrade through the ego mind the image that one carries of themselves, which is usually material physical, and usually hooked into the human psyche, which is the society, social structure of the planet, then you begin to question yourself, doubt yourself, actually attack yourself, be rough, disrespectful to yourself. All those things happen. And that puts us in a frame of mind, so to speak. It's like a super magnet attracting similar things. It's like you might say to yourself, I want, when you're in meditation, you say to the universe, you're focused on the now and your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. And you say, I want to attract people that are good-hearted, genuinely so. They aren't always good, but more good-hearted than ego-minded. People that genuinely have the comprehension of the status of the planet and the civilization, and dearly want to participate in affecting a vibrational frequency shift on the planet. You focus on that, see? But you've got to be like a beacon that attracts that. You can't, it's like you want something, right? But you haven't set it up with yourself to receive it because you're still in a tug of war with yourself. Nothing wrong with that either. You comprehend and say, I'm in a tug of war with myself. Why is that? What's going on with me? And remember, you're not judging yourself, criticizing, ridiculing yourself. Your childlike curiosity is full bore. You want to know. It's never from an agitated, revengeful, angry approach to yourself. That's like bringing in the worst of the worst. So what does that teach us? We will come to a comprehension, some of us on this planet, that children will be programmed in a much different way. We've got to shift the rhetoric and the redundancy of the civilization over and over and over and over again. And this is why things continually repeat themselves through all the past. all the things that have occurred. You start looking at them from an observation standpoint, they're very similar, and they repeat themselves. When you're in a cycle of repetitiveness, yeah, things around you will change, and different appearances and stuff, but the core of it's the same. So it repeats itself in a cycle over and over again. Now, since the civilization, the majority of them are in slumber, they don't know. So that generation leaves, a new generation comes in, taught by that generation of the same thing. So you keep repeating it over and over again. This is what, and then we discover, what do we discover? This is why there are corrupt governments that don't represent anybody but themselves. This is why we have such turmoil. This is why we're goaded and tricked into conflict with each other. This is why all this stuff happens. This is why the old financial system is so corrupt, tattered, and in shambles, because of all the negative vibrational frequencies that are constantly being put out there. We as a people can't afford to do that anymore. It's like a wild horse. A wild horse could kill you unless it's trained to respect you. See, there's three things I always ask myself, and what kind of message am I sending out? What kind of message do I want to be sending out? And what is the experience I'm receiving back? I look at that all the time. It's not foolproof, but boy, I tell you what, we need the proper tools to do the correct job for ourselves. We don't have the proper tools, what's going to happen? Well, we'll jury-rig this and jury-rig that. Have you ever found yourself, you're working on something, you've got some tools, right? But then you come across something and you go, I don't have a tool like that. And then you try to makeshift one of your tools or something and try to duplicate what you need to have done, and it doesn't. It backfires, usually. So you go, well, I got to get one of those. You don't have the right tools, you're not going to get the job done. It's just like us. If we don't have the right tools for ourselves, we're not going to get the job done. And the idea here is not an attempt to improve, change, or fix the messages being broadcasted and received. The goal is to bring a more loving, gentle awareness towards whatever messages are being broadcasted and received. Effortlessly explore the experience of having a gentle, loving awareness for whatever thoughts cross your mind. And notice what this gentle awareness experience feels like before you even think about opening your eyes. When you master this first part, your mind can be scanning all types of information, streaming through you without having any judgment at all. See, it's just like passing right through you. And you're not clinging to anything or grabbing anything or pulling anything. It's just flowing through you. And the mind will simply watch, listen, feel, and be aware of what's happening without any commentary, body tension, or over-analysis. Mastering this gentle awareness is the foundation to begin feeling that you actually are the special high-tech power and highly conscious universal radio tower. If we were just to focus on that, right through the heart-mind, in meditation, that, yes, it's said a lot, but is it comprehended? The impact, the power of it. What you put out, you get back. That's all there is to it. And it's up to us to decide that that's not going to take place anymore. The bad stuff, how we create the black clouds and all the challenges and issues and frustrations, we stop doing it. It's tempting, though. Isn't that strange? You're tempted to, even though you know you're tempted to go back into it, because you've done it for so long. It's actually, and this might sound crazy, but it feels comfortable to so many of us to go into it. It's like you you solve a problem in your life, right? You look at the solution to the problem. You look at the problem and you say, okay, so what's going on with this? What do we have that will solve this problem? Right? Now, once you do that, guess what happens? The ego mind, there's another problem. Boom, another one. And boom, another one. As soon as we get one gone, another one comes in. It's a habit. We use our power unknowingly to bring in negativity. That's what happens. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to bring in negativity. We're totally unaware of it, completely. And so we attract it over and over again. And the key to this practice is about feeling a deep acceptance for this universe. Deep acceptance. Acknowledging that this is the way things are, and feeling you are allowing everything in your life to be as it is. It is a welcoming approach to this life that is naturally filled with total acceptance. When you practice acceptance for some time, something magical will occur. You will naturally clear your mind from everything and energetically release all thoughts from your field. See, it is going to come to a comprehension for all of us that we are meant to create a full reboot, a blank slate inside, which will allow our love vibration to become rooted so it may rise higher than it has ever gone before. Now, you probably won't be able to master this your first day, which is why you don't have any expectations or attachments. Being yourself is being pure love, and that is what bliss is for Maharishi. And in the quiet time of this meditation, this is where the real excitement begins. It all starts with the feeling of allowing yourself to be penetrated by the most exotic and erotic loving energy in this entire universe. Imagine a golden white flame from God's heart has entered your body, and now millions of magical love lights are lighting inside your brain, your heart, your chest, and even your genitals. Every part of your body is glowing like the sun and sparkling with brilliant golden white angelic light. And every time you focus on the breath rising and falling, your whole body glows brighter. Imagine that the aura around your body sparkles like a brilliant Christmas tree with 100,000 super tiny bright bulbs. And whenever you speak, all your lights shine, radiate, and sparkle. The love lights are coming out of your eyes, your mouth, your heart, your hands, and yes, even your genitals. Feel how these energies from these lights are connecting with the energetic matrix throughout your body. It is inside of your DNA, blood and bones, your brain. Your entire physical body is totally turned on, and it can only receive and broadcast messages of joy, lightness, and love. And within a week, you keep doing this, within a week, you should be able to see and feel the difference between when your love lights are off and when they are on. Your sparkling light energy is very, very, very powerful and highly magnetic. So when you know you are lit up, command your body at this that this is going to be your new base signal and frequency pattern. Tell your body that this is how every cell inside will be naturally broadcasting energy into this universe from now on. I'll join you in meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into the body, focused on the breath rising and falling. Most of us were trained to be controlaholics by our parents, teachers, and the system. We were taught to believe that once we have complete control of our lives and minds, then we will have control over our whole world. Then we would achieve all the success, abundance, and happiness that we feel is lacking inside. Now, this controlling game is the ridiculous ego trip of you. Controlling never works long term because the mind cannot control every random negative thought or past wounded feeling from re-entering your brain and body. So, I invite you to try something, to do something a little risky and new today. Give all your negative thoughts a little more time and space to unravel and unfold. Become like an infinite field of space that breathes love all around them. Allow these light contracted parts of you to open and expand greater. Give them the full life expansion experience they were born to have. Very soon, the need for control will dissipate, and this vast healing spaciousness will give birth to a new spiritual freedom that will take over your soul. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here tonight, Wednesday, September 11th, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our time for change call. And Thursday, September 12, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or in here. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.